Speed Garage has been making a comeback lately, and it's known for its faster BPMs, reese basses, UK garage style drums and sped up vocals. In this video, I will be breaking down all the steps on how you can make a Speed Garage track yourself. Every sound that I'm using in this video comes from our brand new producer pack Ignite, which is a hard house and trance producer pack, which works really great for Speed Garage as well. And in the pack you will find serum presets, project files, a sample pack including drums, FX and more, and a vocal pack with a bunch of cool vocals. If you want to check out the sounds yourself or find more information about the pack, then click the link in the description or click the link over here, which goes to our website theproduceschool.com. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and with that being said, let's create some Speed Garage. Alright, I opened up FL Studio, but all the things that I'm doing you can apply in any DAW, so it doesn't matter if you're working in Ableton, Logic, Cubase or any other DAW. These techniques will work there as well. The first thing I'm going to do is to set the right BPM for the track. Since it's Speed Garage, the BPMs are a little bit higher. So a BPM of about 140 or 138 usually works well. And let's start off with the drums. I'm gonna drag in this kick from our Ignite pack and create a very simple 4/4 kick pattern. Something like this. It's a pretty deep and housey kick drum, as you can hear right here. I want to add a little bit of distortion to it, so I'm gonna add Decapitator to kind of distort the sound and destroy it a bit more, so it sounds a bit more raw. Just gonna crank up the drive. That's too much. I think that's a little bit better without, and then with. That's a bit more character, which is great. To get an idea going quickly, I will be using this top loop from our Ignite pack, which already sounds really full. It has some nice skippy offbeat snares, which really add this UK garage groove. Let's lower down the volume a little bit because I want to add my own clap and heads to this loop as well, so we have a bit more space to work with. And let's put the kick also a bit lower in volume. Let's add a breakbeat loop, which also works really well to layer underneath your drums. Then just make sure you cut out the low end so your kicks are not clashing. I like this one, it's pretty simple. And as you can hear, there's a kick in this loop. So let's put this in a channel and remove the low end so it doesn't clash with our own kick. Just like this. And let's lower down the volume. Let's add a clap just to have a bit more accent on the second and fourth beat. And open head from our Ignite pack as well. Simple one. That's great. Now I want to add a snare that plays the same kind of rhythm as this top loop has over here, and let's add this right here to give the snare a bit more. It works. Now with the kick, let's copy this right here, and for the second part of the drop as well, that's right here. And in the second part of the drop I also want to introduce a ride to add a bit more energy to the track, and I'm gonna put it on the offbeat, so every time like where the head plays, the ride will play as well. Just a simple trick to add a bit more energy to the second part of this drop. Let's add some texture vinyl samples like this one and this one as well. There's a bit more rhythm. Let's mix that in with the rest of the drums. Lower down the volume. And this kind of helps to glue your drums together, as well as adding that kind of old school touch, even though it's all digitally made. And let's add a crash on the first beat of the drop. A little crash fill here. Now that the drums are set, let's work on a bass line. For the main bass line, I'll be using a preset from our Ignite pack called Bass Glassy. And it's this very typical reese bass sound that you can hear in every garage track. The preset consists out of 2 saw wavetables, and one of them is fine-tuned 38 semitones, which really creates this detuned effect. Then it's being sent to the filter, and again a very high resonance. For the effects, there is a distortion on it, but the mix is all the way down because it's being automated or modulated by macro, just to add some drive. Then there's a filter which adds a bit of bit crush, just a little bit, and you can also tweak it with macro 4. Now let's create a melody for the bass line. The bass line is one of the most important things in a speed garage track because it's usually one of the only elements together with the drums playing or like a vocal. So you can really try and experiment with unique bass line melodies, octave jumps and stuff like that. But first let's create a very simple bass melody, and from there on we can make it a little bit more interesting. I want to be working in A minor, so let's start with the root note of the track, which is A, and go maybe to F, and then maybe go to the C here. This is a solid bass. Now let's try and make this a bit more interesting with octave jumps and different notes to create a kind of bass melody. Maybe go up here. Then that's cool, this little glide note. So I'm basically just jumping the octave from F5 to F6. And maybe do it here again. That's cool. And then let's copy this part over here to here as well. Then go to the C here. Go up one more octave, so really high. It's a root note, but check. Cool. That's better, I think. So then at the end of the 4 bars, it really goes up high, which is great. Let's put this bass in a mixer channel, add a little bit of EQ because I want to remove a bit of that really sharp high end that's being created with the bit crush. So as you can see here, those little spikes, I want to duck it down a little bit. Let's also lower down the volume because it's too loud. Let's try and mix it with the kick. And then let's add a kickstart for sidechaining, so it ducks every time the kick hits. Creates a lot of space for the kick. Now let's add another layer for the bass, which is a bit more like an organ, kind of reese bass. It sounds like this. Basically made out of 2 sine waves, and then adding in some harmonics in the wavetable editor, and they are both detuned. Also a sound that you can hear in many of those speed garage tracks. I'm just gonna copy the pattern of the main bass line. Let's see if the octave is good already. Makes the bass a little bit better hearable on like smaller systems, but let's add it to a mixer channel and remove the low end because the other one, like the main reese bass, is already taking care of that. And let's lower down the volume. But just like a nice top layer, which is not that loud in volume. Another sound that you can hear in many speed garage tracks is this kind of whoop sound. I will play it for you. It's this serum sound I have over here, and it sounds like this. It's a cool sound and it's really easy to make actually. You just get a square, a wavetable from the default shapes, then add a filter, like a low pass filter, And to create this kind of swell, so it goes like whoop, you use envelope 2 or envelope 1, any envelope, and add some attack, and then link that to the filter cutoff. And you can use the attack time to determine how fast it opens up. So you can make it like faster, like this, or like really slow. Just depends on what kind of timing you need. There are some effects on there, so let me just turn them off for you so you know what the difference is. Some tube distortion, boat, which is a really cool effect from Serum, and I just put the mix like really low, because if you put it up too high, it goes really weird. You can create interesting things with that, but if you just put like 20%, it's adding this nice, pretty wide kind of wobble, which is cool. And then some basic Hall reverb, make it a little bit bigger and more spacey in the mix. I'm just gonna put in the root note of the track, so that will be A, and do it like this, something like that, and then just have it hit on the first note over here, and then do it like this. Let's put this in a mixer channel as well to remove a bit of the low end, because the bass already has that in there. And a bit of kickstart for some side chaining, but put the mix not too high. I think that sounds great. Now let's move on and add this very simple repetitive lead sound, which you can hear in a lot of tracks by Interplanetary Criminal. It's this detuned sound, and I'm just gonna stay on the root note of the track and play like this, that rhythm. Let's see right here, just like that, and maybe do a double hit here. Put it in a different channel because it was linked through the wrong one. Remove the low end, and let's put that on top of everything. Alright, the drop is pretty good so far. Now let's add a bunch of effects to really finish it off. First of all, I'm gonna add this siren sound also from our Ignite pack, and it sounds like this on its own. Very cool sound to really like hype up the drop. And let's add this white noise downlifter. To improve the transition from the first part to the second part of the drop, I'm gonna add this backspin sound, which is really cool. And also this laser. As you can hear, like many sirens, lasers and bleeps in those tracks really add a unique touch to them. And finally, to add some more energy to the second part of the drop, I'm gonna add this vocal loop, which sounds like this. Yeah, go! Yeah, go! And let's lower down the volume. Like this vocal, put it over here. Don't ever stop. Also copy the kick and kind of reverse it, so we create this sweep in effect, which you can hear in a lot of those tracks as well. Let's make it a bit more smooth. Lower down the volume. Cool. And that's everything for this speed garage track. Now I'll play for you the final result. Don't ever stop. Now, after watching this video, you should be able to create a speed garage track yourself, But if for some reason things are unclear, then let me know in the comments and I will try to help you on there. Get all of these sounds used in the video using the link in the description. And for now, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.